a little over a year ago, maybe probably close to 2 years ago, Candace Owens was on Instagram. She made this video right here, and she was talking about what if the grids go down, if we have a cyber attack, what will we do? You know, she was talking about the millennials and new generation, how they were not prepared for any cyber attacks. People like myself, you know, Generation X, we know how to survive a little bit, but she was talking about the millennials and the Generation Zs, or whatever you want to call them. They don't have that thing that we have, you know, the hands-on. And I'm gonna let you listen to what she said. And if you've been watching the news today, the airlines, the FAA have shut down all the airlines in the United States. This is the first time it ever happened since 9/11. All right, check this out and you tell me what you think.
What would you do if they brought the power grid down? And by they, I mean if the government purposefully brought the power grid down. And I'm not asking that question for fun. I'm asking that question because the World Economic Forum is predicting that a cyber pandemic, you can look this up, they've been running exercises about it this year, is inevitable. You're probably saying, what is a cyber pandemic? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, what are we even talking about? If you look into the exercise that they have run this year, I believe they ran it in July. They've been meeting and talking about the cyber pandemic, what it will look like. Essentially, their idea is that they're going to have to sanitize the internet because a bug, think of this as like a coronavirus for your computer, is going to sweep globally, and the only way they're going to be able to stop this bug from infecting everything is to effectively shut down the internet, right? And they were talking about bringing down the power grid in an effort to do this. So imagine the government bringing down the power grid, and you would not have access to anything that required an electrical charge. If this sounds crazy, dystopian, and like a nightmare to you, first and foremost, this happens in other countries, right? Obviously in Cuba, when the government needs to stop people from communicating, they just bring down the power grid, right? When the uprisings were happening in Cuba, I believe that was earlier this year. Coronavirus time feels like, I don't know if it was the end of last year or early this year. They just brought down the entire electrical grid. But of course, Western nations would never do something like that. If they do it, it's because they need to do it, not because they're becoming evil communist dictators, but because they would need to do it for our benefit. So they were talking about the government bringing down the power grid. And until they come up with a vaccine, I'm not kidding, this is their words, not mine, a vaccine of sorts for the internet, where they would be able to cleanse it and purge it of all of these things that are making it vulnerable. Among those things, they brought up Bitcoin, which is so funny. That one thing that the government can't get a handle on, that is representing a threat to them and the financial markets, their control of the financial markets, would be Bitcoin. And suddenly, in running the simulation, they realized that Bitcoin, could potentially be a problem. If you think I'm kidding, you can look this up. It is called a cyber pandemic. And it's made me realize that we're a very weak generation of people. When I'm talking about weak, I'm talking about millennials, I'm talking about, perhaps even the baby boomers, of how little we actually learned about survival.
This is the first time in history this NOTAM systems has ever failed. It is also the first time since 9/11 that all American airlines have been grounded. According to ABC News, apparently, and there's been some speculation about a hack or something like that. They are reporting that it was a software issue that developed last night and then led to a cascading series of IT failures, and that is what has gotten us to where we are right now.
All right, joining us now by phone is Michael Santoro. He's a pilot. He's also the vice president of the Southwest Airlines Pilots Association. Good morning to you, Michael.
Good morning.
Good morning. What was your thought when you heard the news, all flights grounded until at least 9?
So I kind of got word of this happening yesterday afternoon. That was a small glitch going on, and evidently overnight, so it became a much bigger one. I'm not surprised the grounding of aircraft this morning. It's just safety is number one in aviation, and out of abundance of caution, I'm not surprised they grounded all flights. The NOTAMs are something we are required to read before every flight. It gives us information about the arrival airport, if there's cranes in the area, if a certain approach system is out of service, a lighting system is out of service, stuff like that. So pretty important for us to know when we get close. Sometimes it does affect performance numbers. So I'm not surprised they have grounded us.
So, Mike, what's going on behind the scenes? The pilots sit there, they're all waiting, thinking to themselves, who is going to be instructing you where best to go? For example, if they decide to scrub a flight, but they want to use a pilot to keep somebody in place, to send you another direction, who is coordinating all the audibles that are being called right now?
Hey, what you guys think? This is in January of 2023. So is this a cyber attack or not? Or just a glitch in the computer? I would like to read some of the comments. And thanks for watching and subscribe to my channel and have a great day.